This is Motor Matters once again, this time with Will and Al.
No, Alan, Will, come on. I've warned you before to get this right.
We have multiple things in common, one of them being our love of Coca-Cola.
Yeah, there we go.
The full strength, not the watered down rubbish.
We want a sponsorship, Coke.
And we're sitting outside because it's a great day in Africa. Why not? But today we're going to talk about the launch of the Tigo7 that we were both on.
That's it. Chery Tiggo7 Pro.
Chery Tiggo7 Pro. And you got it right with the engine. You quoted a 1.5. That's
and
the one
you tried to tell me it was the 1.6, and
it's a 1.5.
It is 108 kilowatts and 210 Newton meters. Nice engine. I actually spoke to Chery. I've got to tell you, I spoke to Tony Liu, their vice president or
executive.
Deputy that's
president.
it. Yeah.
Yes.
And I said to him, when are you bringing out the sport range? And he said, what are you saying? I said, drop the 2-litre motor into the 4, the 7 and the 8.
Yes.
Because they've got a 2-litre motor available.
Yes.
Now if you think of the fact that the 1.6 already puts out 145 kilowatts, 145 and 290 Newton meters, can you imagine the 2-litre with like 160, 170?
I think it would be a nice addition. I think all of those chassis would be able to take it.
They'll all take it. The gearbox will take it nicely.
Yeah.
And then, as I was saying, all you need to do in modern trends, a couple of red flashes here and there, like everyone else, and you call it the sport.
That's it.
So you could have a sport line.
And it'd be an exciting car. It'll certainly set the cat amongst the pigeons yet again.
Yeah.
You know, when I was writing my article on the Chery, I likened it to a bit of a boxing match.
Yeah.
You know, Chery's coming in and they are landing punches left, right, and centre.
Something's very funny up there.
Pricing and well, it's part of being outside. We will have some distractions in terms of their pricing and the quality.
The pricing is amazing. I mean, let's just get that off the table right now.
Because you're getting a lot of toys for your money.
100%. You're getting, I mean, the Tigo7, for example, let's just talk that one for now, is at least 50 to 75 grand cheaper than any equivalent similar car. Bottom line, thank you very much. At 410 and 445 for the two spec levels. Unreal. You're going to pay 500 and more for
something
top spec
to
that.
Yes.
Bottom line.
And there's very little in that segment that gets even close to the Tigo. And I think it's going to be interesting. You know, one could accuse Chery now of buying market share, pricing the things as aggressively as they have. And you could accuse them that their track record has yet to be defined in terms of the new cars. And you could accuse them that maybe you're not going to have the same levels of availability to spares and things. But I think that they're fully aware of that, and they're already up to 55 dealers countrywide.
Yeah, I mean, it's jumped. We saw them, less than 2 months ago, and they're on 50. They've just jumped to 55. They were talking 75 by the end of this year. Yeah. I mean, that's in 8 months' time, 7 months' time.
Exactly the point.
Another 20 dealers is
exactly the
big.
Point. Exactly.
The other thing I've got to tell you, and I have told the story before, availability of parts. If you talk to the right people, even on old Chery products,
you can see
as
that.
in the previous regime, what a lovely South African term, of Chery, they will fly in the parts from China if you need them and request them. And they did that for a family member of mine. I proved the point.
Okay, so
I have put them to the test.
Now that they're back, they are back this time with the correct stance or attitude or willingness to go the whole hog and see this thing through.
And who else has got the, whatever word you want to use, to offer a 10-year, 1 million kilometer warranty on the drivetrain?
On the engine, and first owner only.
Yes.
So after that, it reverts back to the 150,000 K.
Which is still a good warranty.
Which is still a good warranty.
Yeah.
And I think you know it's like Hyundai when they first came out. They were the first ones to offer you a 7-year warranty on your vehicle, and I think that kind of thing sticks. You know, it's sort of marketing 101. It's they were the first, and I think consumers tend to remember that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, especially that 1 million kilometer. I mean, it just is such a magical.
It's a massive number. It's a massive number.
Yeah,
it's a massive number.
I mean, I don't know if anybody on this earth will do 1 million Ks in 10 years. It's.
I can think of someone that would try.
It's 8,000 Ks a month for 10 years.
It's a lot of mileage.
Yeah.
It's a lot of mileage.
So there is that, but it's not the point. It's the statement they made.
Correct.
But now let's talk.
It's backing their product.
Let's talk
the car.
Tigo7 itself.
It was a pleasure to drive, I have to say. Despite the fact that I don't like CVT boxes, that was a good one.
It's one of the better ones I've come across.
It didn't have any of that manic. I'd call it manic depressive, but that sort of manic urge to get going when nothing happens but the engines are screaming, and then you could start to feel the train slide the power to the wheels. But this one was more automatic in its feel, which I quite liked.
I think 9 out of 10 Joe Publics would not realize it's a CVT. They'd think it's a normal torque converter.
Sure.
And it's a 9-step, which is interesting.
And very smooth.
Yeah. But also, and you in particular, being you, had to play with the manual mode.
I like manual modes.
And you proved the smoothness of the 9 steps even in manual mode. And I don't know if you noticed, and I was looking at it and I actually read somewhere as well, it does have the ability to skip steps. Did you notice that?
I did not. It didn't do that in manual mode. It may do it in auto mode.
Yeah. No, there was a time in manual mode as well. When you knocked it down, it went from 9. When you were putting it across, it dropped right down to 6.
Oh, okay. In other words, when we were going slowly,
when you were slowing down and you want to drop, it dropped.
It is fully electronic, so I would imagine there's a degree of thinking behind that.
Right.
That kicks in.
What I'm saying is, it's pretty advanced electronic.
Sure.
That's the important part.
Well, they did claim it's won an award somewhere.
Yes, so, it has. Yeah. Now, something else I want to point out to you quickly. Do you remember on the way back to Joburg, when we had a bit of an emergency stop?
Oh, and I was screaming for my life.
That's it. Okay.
The emergency stop, yes.
Yeah. I have been reading up since then.
Okay.
It actually does have autonomous emergency braking as well.
Oh, really? So
besides the forward collision warning, the little light that came on and beeped, it actually does have emergency braking as well.
And it grabbed those brakes. And
that was why it was quite as violent as it was. Even though I did react, but it reacted as well. Nice to know when you hit a situation which was pretty unavoidable.
Yes.
I would like to think I would have avoided an issue anyway, but the car just assisted me, put it that way.
Yes. Which is comforting.
Yeah, good to know. And also good to know that they've even got that technology on the car.
It was interesting. I mean, a couple of years ago when this technology was first introduced, I think it was in Mercedes, the S-Class first for almost everything. But they call it assisted emergency braking, and what it does is it determines the fact that you've climbed onto the brakes quickly, but not hard enough, and it fixes the hard enough level for you and applies maximum braking force. Yeah. With the theory being that if you climbing onto the brakes quickly with some enthusiasm, there's a reason for it. And the logic is it's better to stop.
They'll just add a bit of force to it,
and optimize your braking distances. And the tests were showing that the braking distances were substantially shorter. Yeah. When the car actually takes over.
But there are some cars I've tested. I'm not going to mention brands right now, where, for example, especially in reverse, where it's got rear emergency braking.
You can snap the
neck. And you think you've hit a brick wall when in actual fact there was a brick lying on the ground.
And the car was protecting itself.
Correct.
Against,
I've had a few instances where you get a serious fright. Like, what?
It's early days. The technology will get better and we will get used to it. It's what's happened with all of them. And if we go back to the technology, I mean, look at the tech in the Tigo7. There's nothing that's not there. As far as I can see, everything that's in the 8, which is the flagship in the range, is also in the 7.
I'm trying to think
of little things.
Very minor, maybe, but essentially, it's. And I tried to get out of Chery. It's slap bang in the middle of the 4 and the 8. There's no doubt. But whereas the 4 is a compact crossover SUV, and that's what it is, and it doesn't pretend to be anything else.
Yes.
The 7 is, I call it a medium SUV. Quite honestly,
it is big.
Size-wise, it's competing with anyone else that wants to call themselves a medium SUV.
Yeah.
And yet again, we talk the price.
Yeah.
And the spec level.
Yeah.
I mean, really amazing. Got to single out also their voice activation.
I couldn't believe that it actually worked using your voice to tell it to open the sun shield, or how did you describe it?
The roller blind on the sunroof.
There you go. And it picked it up and understood that. I mean, it was It was quite impressive because the important thing here to note, dear valued viewers, is the fact that there are actually two switches for the sunroof. There's one that drives the glass bit, and there's the one that drives the inner roller screen.
Yeah.
And it could actually identify which one of those we wanted to actually have.
Of course it did, and because I speak so well and so clearly, it has no problem understanding me.
It was well, it wasn't necessarily the clarity of your speech; it's how you told it to do what it needs to do that I found quite interesting, and it still understood you and managed to get it right. And you can do everything with that voice control. You can up the temperature. You can open and close windows. I'm not sure if you can open a tailgate whilst you're driving. It'll probably moan at you and tell you it's not safe.
Don't think it would like that.
But pretty much everything you can manually control in the car, you can control via voice.
Yeah.
It may not sound like a huge big thing, but it's just an indication of where the technology is going. If that sort of level of ability is already in the car, it's not going to be long before you can actually talk to it the way you used to be able to talk to Google to say, send a WhatsApp to my wife to tell her I'm running 10 minutes late.
Well, I don't know how often you've played with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay.
Not a lot.
Okay. Android Auto in particular, because my phone's Android,
which is a good thing,
has a feature where if a WhatsApp comes in, it flashes on the screen, and if you press on the screen, it reads the WhatsApp to you, and it gives you the ability to answer.
Yes.
It says, would you like to send an answer? And obviously picks up voice dictation, blah, blah, blah. Now, I mean, that's not Chery, but that's a standard feature now in Android Auto. So this is where technology is going. But now, put away the technology for a minute. I want to go back to the fact of what I was saying just now. This is a medium SUV.
Yes.
The space is great.
Yes.
Rear seat space is excellent.
Yes.
And you've got a 475 litre boot with seats up.
And with seats down is
1500.
massive. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a load lugger in itself.
Yes.
So that's where I'm going back to my point of a medium SUV.
Yes.
It's got all of those features.
Yes.
And all of that you could want.
With a powered tailgate.
In the top model. Because you mentioned
model.
just now, you've got distinction, you've got executive.
Yes.
Difference between the two, quick, sunroof. Your choice, panoramic roof, although it's a much bigger panoramic roof than most.
You know I'm not a fan of sunroofs.
I like them, but they can be a pain, but anyway. But now,
nice to have.
Yeah. Besides that, what you get is what is commonly being termed ADAS.
Yes.
Which is the safety suite.
Safety suite.
And that's where the autonomous braking comes in, the forward collision warning, and a few others, lane departure, etc., etc. Now, to me, it's very difficult to put a value on those because, you know me, I will always want more and more and more safety spec. So 35 grand price premium.
It's not a lot.
I think you're getting the sunroof for free and you're paying for the rest.
Well, that's certainly one way of looking at it. I'd be inclined to say keep the sunroof and give me an extra 5 grand back or whatever the sunroof costs.
But what I'm getting at is that I would pay the 35 grand.
The
Obviously, your bank manager is going to have something to say on the subject.
The one thing I haven't figured out in these spec levels is what kind of optional extras can you add to them, and whether that is in fact
what you see is what you get.
You get an A and B, and that's it. Whilst Alan busy has a coughing fit.
Sorry, I held up for as long as I could.
That's how they're able to price the things.
They are bringing in accessories, but not optional extras, if I can term the difference. So
it's unlike the BAM Brigade, where you buy a German car and this is your car, so we do like a steering wheel with that and optional tires and
it's
brakes.
the Lexus
and
model.
You build yourself up and
for want of a brand, it's the Lexus model.
So
what you see is what you get.
Everything's on it,
and it's fully loaded or nothing.
Correct.
And I love it because then you know the price
and you know exactly what you're getting into. And
the other premium brands in the world. Oh, okay, we've got 4 wheels, we've got 4 doors, we probably got an engine.
That's right. And the thing that gets me on the options list is when you actually go through these extensive option lists, you look at it and you think, "Ooh, that sounds nice," but are you ever actually going to use it? And you sit there and you thinking to yourself, "Well, that's 35,000 rand for the navigation or whatever the case may be. Am I ever going to use it?" And the answer is, "Well, I'm not sure, but I better put it on just in case."
It's not just that. If you and I had to order one of those brands tomorrow,
Oh, we're
And-
going to wait 6 months.
Well, let's leave that out now. But we had to each order the same model. And the base price is 1.5 million. Okay, which is
Yeah.
a common, is very normal price in
I-
those kind of cars, nothing unusual. Okay.
I'm still staggered by it, but yes.
Right, now, you being you, slap on 300,000 rands worth of extras, which you can do very quickly.
Well,
Okay, not difficult, tick,
tick, tick, tick.
couple of boxes.
Done. Yeah.
I am conservative, so I only put on 75,000 rands worth of extras.
Yeah.
Now, that's not the point. You'll enjoy a few more toys than I will. I know that.
Are we
I
getting
won't
to when we
argue.
sell it?
Resale.
Yeah, bingo.
3 to 4 years time.
I've lost 225,000 and you've lost 75,000.
Correct. There's the point.
Yeah.
And that's the rub, and that's not going to change.
Yeah.
You are not going to get your value back for all those boxes you ticked
When you sell the car.
in your dreams.
Correct.
But now, that's not the Chery, because that doesn't work that way.
Correct.
Because they got the cherry on
You
top.
got it
you see.
all. You got it all in.
Yeah. And you know what? Maybe this year. Wait a minute. This is the third model they're launching.
Correct.
So is this the third bite of the cherry now?
The cherry jokes are endless, aren't they? And
Well, you didn't appreciate me calling you my cherry when we were driving it.
like I said, Alan, if you're going to call me your cherry, you have to pay. And I can assure you, I may be many things, but I am not cheap. Maybe easy, but not cheap. So the bottom line is now, if we dial it back to the Tigo 7, which is kind of what we're supposed to be talking about, is that I think Chery have now got the full complement. So we've got from the 4 through the 7 through the 8. There are a couple of models coming that
There are more
we are
coming.
talking about.
There's,
Yes.
more, there's definitely going to be one more this year.
Is it going to be above or below
It's
in terms of price?
currently going to slot between the 7 and the 8.
Can you imagine?
But it's going to be a
Different segment.
coupe SUV.
Yeah.
The Armuda 5, I think it's called.
Okay.
I think that's the name,
So
if
now-
I got it right.
We're not going to be arguing that there isn't a Chery to fit your pricing budget. We're going to be arguing there's a Chery to fit your looks, desires,
Yeah, yeah. And
which is-
space.
and space, which
Yeah.
is an important criteria.
Okay, now summing this thing up, I think, and Chery didn't quite agree with me the other day, that you're going to get people walking into the showroom because the name is out there now, their numbers, their sales are proving it.
And they're getting
And-
some pretty good feedback.
Yeah, and I think they're going to say, oh, I'll rather take the 7 than the 4.
Do you not think they would rather take the 7 than the 8?
My exact point. I think, give it 3 months, I can see the 7 being the... sorry, no, let me rephrase.
The 7 being
The
the most popular.
entry 4s will sell because at 270, 280,
The pricing is there.
the pricing is brilliant. The upper 4s, I can see slipping to the 7.
Yeah.
So I think I've got to just kind of separate it a touch there.
So you're calling the 7 going to be the most popular sales?
Well, I'm not sure because there are a lot of people buying the entry 4 on pure price basis.
Sure.
So it'll come out in the wash.
We'll see how it pans out.
It's not going to look. Their overall sales will go up. That's for sure. They're still gonna get more. That's guaranteed. They're ahead of their targets already. I think that they mentioned.
It's interesting how the South African market has taken to Chery, and it has to be based on the value, the compelling value. That
Yeah.
when you actually see the vehicle, you suddenly realize, hang on a sec, this is a completely different animal to maybe what we were used to or been exposed to in the past.
Change your mindset.
And change your mindset, and South Africans are doing that.
Well, the fact that the Tigo 4 is a finalist in 2022 SA Car of the Year,
As well, it should be.
I agree. But the fact that it's there,
Yeah,
there was still the stigma to the Chinese cars.
yeah.
Keep it going. Sorry, fact.
We've seen it all before.
Yeah,
We've
but
seen it all before with the Koreans, and now the
It's-
Chinese are here.
it's broken it finally.
Exactly.
Yeah, and the fact that it's made it to the finals, and quite honestly, both the 7 and 8, which will go into Koti 2023, are going to be thereabouts. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm speaking through my hat, but I think they can be up. They've got to feature somewhere along the way as well, because both of them are really the value for money.
You can't ignore it.
Has to, and that's a big weighting on anything, obviously.
Absolutely.
So when you put that there, it's going to talk.
there, I think, shall we leave it there?
I just want to end with one comment. Well done, Chery.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kudos to you.
Definitely. So, from Alan Will, we'll see you next time.